to change politics. But really what we've seen, and who has suffered and who carries the burden of mass migration, is the working class Americans, is the middle class Americans, in a drop in public services, in a drop of quality of life, and it's not borne by the rich. The same rich that are applauding these riots from behind walls because they know it's never going to impact their life. The same rich who scoff when roads are blocked filled with people trying to get to work because they can just take a helicopter where they want to go. I believe in working America, right? And I think we have to have a controlled but secured border. And this pushback, right? This pushback on Biden's flood of immigrants that he intentionally created with his rhetoric and policy change, I think is going way too far.
We're watching women being surrounded by ICE agents taking toddlers to school. We watching ICE agents make little children sit down on a curb, 5 and 6 years old, while they got their parents in handcuffs who are not violent criminals, who've committed no crimes.
I don't disagree.
So don't you think once that went out to the public that these type of reactions would take place?
No.
I'm not surprised at all.
Well, are you not surprised, or do you support it?
I support people standing up and fighting against lies from an administration that was wrong. I support protests because America is built on protests, and don't lie and say America was built on peaceful protests. That's not true. Benjamin Franklin and the boys did not have a peaceful protest. So they established America from the tyranny of Europe. Taxation without representation was tyranny. They fought for their freedom. That was a protest. That's the American way. And Donald Trump did prove to us that the January 6th protesters committed no crime in his eyes. So how can we say what's happening in LA with the riots right now are insurrectionists, but we applaud from the Trump administration those from January 6th and say they committed no crime?
Well, I don't applaud the January 6th violent people, right? I applaud anyone that uses civil protest, right? But what you're talking about and what you're trying to justify, what you go back and forth on historically, is violence and crime, burning people's cars, right? Terrorizing people. We have a clip of a Fox reporter. Matt, do we have that clip available? A Fox reporter, Matt Seardorf, who used to work here in Fox Houston, who is from Los Angeles originally, was out there covering the riots and came back to find his Los Angeles Fox vehicle destroyed, but more importantly, his personal items stolen out of his car. Matt, do you have that clip?
Is what's left of our work car. We had it parked near the scene. Obviously, we got here right at the beginning before we knew it was going to escalate to the situation that it got to. This is a brand new news truck that we just got. Looks like the tires were slashed. They busted into the windows. We'll see. Our personal bags were in the car. They stole all the stuff that was inside. There are some things here. Looks like they took cinder blocks through the window.
And this is just one example of hundreds of examples I mean, did you see the video of them looting the Nike Jordan store in Los Angeles?
And you and I both know that's silly.
Because that's silly.
That is silly.
It destroys neighborhoods.
You're committing a crime, and your silly behavior takes away from the real cause of the protesting. So what they don't understand, brothers and sisters from the Latino community, don't commit crimes because they want to take your petty criminal activity and they make that the focus to pull away from the real focus of what they're doing to the black and brown community, in particular the Hispanic community, with immigration rights. But let me tell you something, brothers and sisters in America. Black folk, what they're doing in brown communities right now, ICE, ain't nothing more than a Homeland Security test run. That same Homeland Security is going to be used against the black community in America under the auspice and guise and disguise of fighting the war on crime. Trump has already said he could see taking American criminals convicted of a crime and deporting them to a third world country like Ecuador and El Salvador because it would be cheaper. Brothers and sisters of the black community, don't you think that what they're doing to the brown community right now is exclusively against Latinos and Mexicans? Them same dirty, low-down devils within the Trump administration, them damn warmongering racists are planning the same thing against the black community's young black men under the guise of fighting crime, my co-partner right here, my co-host, always talks about the crime in the inner cities of America. That crime has a black and brown face. And Trump is already saying that they're willing to use National Guard to fight crime because cities like California won't fight it. I am telling you what they're doing in the brown community. They're coming for black people next. Don't you say this is a brown problem that doesn't include us. No, they're coming after all of us.
Okay, I think you are just fear-mongering, and I think that when you use that kind of rhetoric, what you're doing is you're ratifying, first of all, the rhetoric by Karen Bass and Governor Newsom that is calling these mostly peaceful, because everything, if you support it, just like the conservatives were like, oh, January 6th wasn't this big deal, there was no violence. We've seen videos of
celebrating
violence.
them, throwing big parties.
And hold on, and on the right wing, they were like, oh, this is this. On the left wing, they were saying, oh, officers were murdered. No officers were murdered that day. The only person who was murdered was the woman that was shot in the head by the officer. But there's just all this dishonest rhetoric, and you have to parse and look in the middle. The same thing. We have Karen Bass and Governor Newsom saying, oh, this is mostly peaceful. Trump has created this problem. It's not, and they're abdicating their duty to shut this down, as we heard from the chief of police, and the violence just got worse last night. What we need is our government not accepting or allowing people to be violent and destroy things. On the flip side, we need better advocacy.
But Trump can fix this real easy.
How?
Just by saying this. If we arrest anyone that is not a violent criminal, that has not committed a crime, and they get caught up in this dragnet, we will release them back to the courts and let them have due process.
You think that
That's
would stop
all
that?
he would have to do.
You think that would stop
yes,
that?
Yes, it would.
You're so
because
full of
remember,
crap.
Charles, you got
This
people all over social media being captured as children. You did not promise or threaten that to the American people. Even some of Trump's base is saying arresting mothers taking their children to school is not what we supported and what we agreed to.
So if the mother had been convicted of a felony,
that's a difference in the circumstances.
Would you support
But Charles, if she's not a violent
because there are
criminal,
a lot of people on the left that would not.
But let me say this.
Okay.
If it's like welfare fraud, something like that, she was convicted 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yes,
she's got children in school. I'm not deporting that lady like that.
Okay.
She's not a violent criminal, Charles. Why are we going after non-violent criminals and going after those who have no criminal history and deporting them, separating and breaking up families? Charles,
absolutely.
That 18-year-old soccer player who was just going to practice with his friends.
It's disgusting.
Charles, that's wrong, man.
I don't disagree. And here back to the oligarchs that created this situation is they want people here, and then they want to use them as a political cudgel, both the left and the right. But the reality is that we have to have a pathway to citizenship for people that have been here forever, or people that have been here and obeyed the rules while they're here. But we also have to have a pathway to removing them. And these riots are just destroying people's lives. It's going to destroy the lives of those that are arrested and prosecuted, because the Trump administration will not be the Biden administration or the Obama administration. They will prosecute these people for federal crimes.
They gonna do that.
Right, and I do believe that the LA DA's office will stand down, but they've been standing down to violent crime for over a decade now. So, but really, like you mentioned, when you're trying to fearmonger that now Trump's going to come in black and brown communities for crime. The truth is, when you look at murders in New York City, for instance, more than 90% of them are committed by people of color, and their victims are people of color. Right, so it's very easy to fearmonger with people of color. Oh, they're coming for crime, but there are so many people of color in our country, in our biggest cities, who are overwhelmed by fear of crime and what crime is doing to their lives. And we need to find a way to fight crime.
So if what you're saying is true.
Yeah, well, no, it is true.
If what you're saying is true.
Saying stuff that's not true is your job.
I'm going to ask black people a question. During the crack cocaine explosion of the late 80s and 90s in America, tens of thousands of black men were being murdered in the streets of America. Mainstream suburban white people didn't give a damn about that. So when you talk like you talking, that crime is out of control and the greatest victims of that crime is out of control are black people, I ask black people in America the question, when did white people become so concerned about black folk killing black folk? They are using that calling cry, that whistle call, as to justify what they are planning to do. And what Trump is going to do is declare the protesters insurrectionists. And when he does that, that gives them amazing power. They'll declare martial law. And when they declare martial law, then Trump will suspend the Constitution. When he suspends the Constitution, it will guarantee him a third term. All of this is a plan, brothers and sisters. And Trump knows he wants a third term. And the way to do it is to send American National Guard into the inner cities, start riots and conflicts and fights, declare martial law, suspend the Constitution, and we got Trump all over again, a modern-day dictator.
Starting riots, conflict, and fights seems to be more the province of the far progressive left. At least that's what we've seen for the last couple of decades. But either way, I'm not defending the GOP in any way, because I do think that every time they get power, they overstep to facilitate the wants of the very wealthy while pandering to their populist base. But at the end of the day, it's just fear-mongering. Like, Trump's not getting a third term. The Constitution's not suspended. What we need in this country, and
he's going for a third term. And he's already talked about his willingness to suspend the Constitution.
And you talk about whitey and when white people. I don't speak for other white people. I speak for myself. And I will say that when I was a police officer, it was in an almost all people of color community, right? I have in cities lots of crime. My focus of my scholarship and everything has always been about more safety for all Americans, right? You want to racialize this, I guess that's your job. But my concern is an America that's safer, right? Period. But most importantly, for the poor.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love your mind.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
I find it heartbreaking that the scope of the Trump efforts to deport people includes just regular people that have been in this country for a very long time because our country turned a knowing blind eye to illegal entry. They have built lives, they have participated, and they have contributed. That's not a way to fix the problem. The way to fix the problem is to remove people that have come here and committed crimes, or people that we discovered that are here fleeing consequences for crimes and where they left. Also, I'm all for deporting people that advocate for the end of America, but what Trump is doing is bad. So are the protesters.
Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, the Trump administration has always been the clarion call, make America white again. Not great again, but white again. And what I mean when I say that, they want to take as many brown people, deport them and get them out of this country, and they want to put black people back in their place because they perceive we've gotten out of our place. Now is the time. for black and brown people to unite in 2025. If there was ever a clarion call, call it now. Black and brown people unite.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's put a ride home.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love your mind.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, You may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie.
Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul. The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for The Factor Uncensored. A reminder tonight, there's nothing wrong with balling on a budget, but there's a lot of people out there faking a lavish lifestyle to impress others. You know who you are. While they are secretly being driven into debt, and that's definitely not a good thing. Now, according to my next guest, trying to keep up with the Joneses just isn't worth it.
Well, the gang's all here, and guys, we're talking about those poor individuals out there who may be living beyond their means. They are wearing the Gucci belts, the Louis Vuitton shoes. I guess, do they have Louis Vuitton shoes?
Yes.
Yeah. And they're digging
I'm still
themselves
paying
out.
on them.
What's that?
I'm still